Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we have a really specific mission, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to go beyond the usual scores and, the stats and really dive into the soul of what it means to be an extremely devoted fan.
Right. And we've got this one source that lets us do that in a really unique way.
We do. We're looking at a source that gives us this incredibly personal look into a major college football rivalry, but from a global perspective.
It is. Yeah. The source we're looking at is called House of Buckeye. And it's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like objective reporting or anything. It's basically a heartfelt letter from this one incredibly passionate traditionalist fan.
Exactly. So our mission here is to really get into the emotional geography of that experience. We're talking about someone whose entire identity feels tied to the scarlet and gray, even though they're watching from literally the other side of the world.
And that's not an exaggeration. We mean the other side of the world.
All right. Australia. And that distance, that geographical separation, I think that's the lens we have to look at all of this through. It just changes everything.
It totally does. The stakes, the sacrifice, I think that's the core theme here, right?
Yeah.
It's how tradition and that deep emotional investment, it doesn't just, survive the distance. It actually seems to get stronger.
Amplified by it.
Yeah, amplified.
Yeah.
Distance makes you long for it more.
Yeah.
It demands this huge commitment. And the first thing that really jumps out from the source is how they even get their information.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, they rely on a Good Day Columbus spy cam family.
A spy cam family.
Just to get updates. So, this means they're often getting the final score midweek or they're waking up at 3 a.m. on a Sunday just to find a replay. The commitment it's just astonishing.
It's a nocturnal ritual. It's not just passion. It's a sacrifice of, basic comfort.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Let's get into section 1, the weight of tradition and the colors that matter.
Perfect.
Okay.
Because this fan, they don't just, support the team. They state it very clearly. They're a proud traditionalist and a member of the House of Buckeye.
And the colors, the scarlet and gray, they're not just colors on a jersey.
No, not at all. They are essential identity markers. It's like they're carrying a whole legacy on their shoulders.
And to be a traditionalist, you have to bring up the ghosts of the past, right?
Of course.
And the source immediately goes to the legends of this rivalry, Coach Woody Hayes and Coach Bo Schembechler. For this fan, they're not just names in a history book, they are the blueprint for how this is all supposed to work.
Yeah, the fan describes those whole matchups as these fierce battles, nail-biting, heart-pounding experiences. Yeah. But here's the really interesting part, the tension. Despite all that intensity, the week was also full of laughter and playful banter. And after the game, there was this profound respect for one another that transcended the rivalry.
Okay, so can we push on that idea for a second, this profound respect? Because that's the ideal they're holding on to. But isn't that idea, isn't it completely challenged by how intense and, frankly, antagonistic things are today?
That's the key. That tension is everything to the traditionalist mindset. The ferocity is necessary because the opponent is worthy of that respect.
Okay.
So when that respect gets violated, we'll definitely get to that later, it's not just a loss. It feels like a deep moral offense.
So it's personal, and for this fan, that connection to tradition is physical, too.
It really is. They talk about having this rare opportunity to walk on the sacred turf when Coach Hayes passed away. And they left flowers right there in the Block O on the 50-yard line.
Wow. See, walking in the 50-yard line, that's not just walking on grass. That's a pilgrimage.
Exactly.
It connects their personal grief directly to the physical ground. It makes the field itself sacred.
Precisely. And that's the feeling they want to pass down to the current players. I found this part so compelling. Their wish for the freshmen.
Yeah, what's that?
They say they sincerely wish the coaches would show the freshmen a video of Coach Woody, passionately explaining what it truly means to step onto the field for OSU.
Especially this week.
Especially this week. It's an appeal to lineage, to duty. They're basically saying, you aren't just playing for a scholarship. You're playing for us, for everyone watching in Australia, for history.
Tradition isn't nostalgia. It's fuel.
It's a call to arms based on inheritance. And that brings us perfectly into section 2, where we see how this all plays out today. Passion, volume, and the global family.
Right, because this season has clearly been stressful, even from halfway around the world. The fan admits they never expected to be undefeated at this time of the year.
So there's this baseline of nervous tension, even before you add the distance.
And think about the ritual of it. Waking up at all hours of the night, putting on the team colors while you wipe the sleep from our eyes.
It's a deliberate choice to mess up your whole schedule, to participate in something you can only see on a screen. This reliance on computers and Facebook feeds, it means the joy isn't spontaneous.
And a loss must hit you so much harder when you're alone in the dark.
Yeah, completely isolated.
Meanwhile, back home, the fan is so proud of the crowd, the 13th man. They even quote Coach Day, saying the crowd was so loud that even Ichi couldn't hear himself think.
And what a contrast that is.
Right.
At home, the crowd is a physical weapon. It's so loud the coach can't think. But our fan in Australia is probably watching in total silence so they don't wake up their family.
That silence, that isolation is so clear in their writing. They talk about missing watching games with friends, missing being on campus.
They have that one specific memory.
Oh, yeah, hearing a whole restaurant in Columbus just erupt in cheers after a big win.
That's the moment.
Yeah.
That shared, deafening, communal joy. That's what they're trying to find through a computer screen from thousands of miles away.
It's a real emotional cost, and it explains why they talk about being found in tears after a loss, but also cheering with pure joy during our triumphant victories. It's an emotional roller coaster, and they're riding it alone.
Mm-hmm. And that intensity leads us right into the heart of the matter. Section 3. This is about this season specifically, and a recent event that has really hardened this fan's resolve.
Okay, so you can see the season's ups and downs through their eyes. The highs are so vivid.
They are. The pride in that catch in the end zone, the pure adrenaline of the overtime win.
These are the moments that keep that global family going, but they're also keenly aware of the team's flaws.
Oh yeah, they list the struggles. The lows of Julian getting hit, the constant worry about being able to stop the big play. This isn't just blind cheerleading, it's sharp analysis, born from genuine concern.
And that concern, that vulnerability, it just made the shock of what happened next even bigger. The event, they say, changed things forever last year.
This is where that ideal of profound respect we talked about just shatters.
Right. They talk about that moment when those from up north tried to plant a flag on our hallowed turf.
And for someone who sees that turf as sacred, who walked on it to mourn Woody Hayes, this isn't just trash talk.
No, it's a desecration. A moral violation.
That's the perfect word for it. The fan says they woke up in Australia to the news, and the feeling was just pure white-hot anger. They call it so much disrespect.
And even though they acknowledge that our boys did what they needed to defend our home, it's the anger over that act. That's what's fueling them now.
Exactly. The flag incident broke the unwritten rules. So now, it's not enough to just win. There has to be a reckoning.
It's shifted from a football game to a defensive honor.
Yeah, which they call it. It's time to take our final stand and demonstrate to the world that we are stronger than ever and our resolve will not be broken.
That language, a final stand, it's so powerful. And it brings us to the climax of this whole thing in Section 4. The final message and the shared run.
This is where the fan speaks directly to the team and coaches. And it's really the most moving part of the whole source.
It is, because you see what the isolated fan needs. They need to be included. They're asking for that mental connection they've maintained across an ocean to be, acknowledged.
Reciprocated.
Yes, reciprocated. They lay out this whole sequence, like a psychological proxy experience. First, they want the team to take those of us overseas on that run with you onto the field.
They want to feel the ground shake. Then second, take them on the field as the defense stands tall and gets a 3 and out. They want to share in that defensive grit.
Third, they want to be with the offense as they protect Julian as he steps up and throws.
And fourth, with the passes caught, the points scored, they want to inhabit every single critical moment.
But the last request is the one that really gets you. It's the ultimate ask for connection. They tell the team, remember us as you go to the student section to share the swag and sing Carmen, Ohio.
And that's it, right there, singing the alma mater with the student section. That is the peak of unity.
For the fan alone in Australia watching on a tiny screen, that shared song is the moment of greatest longing. It's what makes the House of Buckeye real.
It brings it all together. The global House of Buckeye is standing tall, standing proud, no matter the time zone or the lack of sleep. They're watching, waiting for word of that final victory. Because for them, honor has to be restored.
Wow. I mean, it's just an incredible insight into how tradition, history, and this intense dedication can turn a college football team into a global family, a family with, very specific emotional needs.
Absolutely. And you see that core conflict so clearly. On one hand, you have this inherited ideal of profound respect from the Woody and Bo era.
Right.
But on the other hand, you have this raw, burning anger over what they see as modern disrespect, like the flag planting. And that contradiction is what's driving their passion right now.
It's a fascinating battle between the rivalry they were taught to have and the one they're actually living in. So that leaves a provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider. If the legacy of Coach Woody is what they're using right now to inspire the freshmen, what from today will become the new tradition? Which moments, that overtime win, maybe a huge defensive stand, or even that flag incident, will be the stories that future generations of fans, especially the ones overseas, cling to?
What becomes the next sacred moment for the House of Buckeye?
A great question. What will they be waking up in the middle of the night to remember in 20 years?
It's a powerful thought about how legacy is built in real time. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
We'll see you next time.